Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you 4 quick ways to create an arc shape in Affinity that do not require a built-in arc tool. Let's get started. All 4 methods involve built-in shapes: a donut, a pie shape, and an ellipse. Now there are built-in donut and pie shapes, but instead of going back and forth to my toolbar, I've created 4 ellipse shapes instead, and I'll show you how to convert 2 of them to a donut and pie when we get to them. I've turned off the top 3, and we're going to start with this first one here. Now, if you took my Shapes in Affinity tutorial, which I've linked below, you know that a shape layer is not a curve. So before I can use any node tools on it, I need to convert it to one so I can access its nodes. So with the shape selected, I'm going to go up to the contextual menu at the top and click on Convert to Curves. Now, I want to isolate this top left arc here and get rid of everything else. So my first method is I'm going to delete any of the segments that I don't need. With my node tool selected, I'll hover over the segment, and I'm going to hold Control down on a Mac or Command on Windows and just click. And that's going to get rid of any of the segments I don't want, and now I'm left with my arc shape. Now for this one, again, I want to convert this because I want to be able to access the nodes. So I'm going to convert it, but this time, instead of deleting what I don't want, I'm going to click and drag across to select the 2 nodes of the arc that I want to isolate. With those selected, I'm going to right-click on one of them and choose Break Curve. And you can see I get 2 layers here in my Layers panel. I'm going to select this one and delete it, and I'm left with my arc shape. Now for this one, I want to use a donut. Now again, I could have created a donut using the built-in donut shape, but I can just as easily create it with an ellipse by going up to the contextual menu here at the top and choosing Convert to Donut. Now while a shape isn't a curve, most shapes have controls in both the contextual menu and on the shape itself that allow you to adjust it without the use of nodes, and that's what we're going to do here. Now I could use the sliders at the top. I just find it easier to use the on shape control handles. So I'm going to hit A on my keyboard to engage the node tool, and you can see that I get these 2 handles right here. Now the first thing I want to do is get rid of this hole in the middle. So I'm going to hover over this. You can see it tells me which direction I can go, and I'll just drag this all the way up until the whole radius is 100% and it's gone. The next thing I want to do is break up this section right here. So one part is at the top here and the other part is moved over here. So I'm going to hover over, click and drag, and I'm going to move this until it snaps to the top. Now for this one, again, I'll hover over until I get those double arrows. I'll bring this around until I get that marker that shows that I have a 90-degree angle, which means I have the arc that I want. Now, the thing about this is that was a non-destructive edit, which means I could go back and get that donut shape back if I wanted to. This is still considered a circle. What I want to do is convert this so that I have a curve just like the other 2. So again, I'll go up to the top here, click on Convert to Curves, and now I'm left with that single segment arc. All right, so for the final shape, I'm going to turn this one off and turn this on. And this time I want to convert this to a pie shape. So you can already see my arc. This is actually a little bit easier than the donut. I'm going to hit A on my keyboard to get my control points. I'll get rid of that hole. So again, I'm going to drag that out. This one is right where I need it. So I'm just going to take this one and drag it around until I get that 90-degree marker. Now again, this is still a circle. I want to go ahead and convert this to a curve. So I'll go up to the top and choose Convert to Curves. Now one final note on using either the donut or the pie shape. With your final arc, if you start with a pie or donut with rounded joins like this one, so you can see anywhere that there's a join, it's rounded, you're going to end up with a stroke that has rounded caps on it. If you start with one that has a Mitre join, so up here in my stroke panel, I'm going to change that so that they're sharp, you're going to end up with arc shapes like we have here that have more of a butt cap. Now with these 2, you can't use the cap settings to change that. You actually need to use the join settings. So let me get rid of this guy. I'll go up to my stroke panel. You can see that if I click this to try and get a rounded cap, it doesn't do anything. What I need to do instead is go to join and click on it. And now I have the rounded ends. With the 2 other ellipse shapes, you would just need to adjust the ends with the cap settings, just like any other stroke. If you have any questions or a request for a tutorial that you'd like to see here on my channel, let me know below. I have a lot more Affinity tutorials in the works, but in the meantime, you might want to watch one of these 2 next. Thanks for watching.